Shout out Sniper T on the beat.
Tamara to the break of dawn is on the rise, with life on the forefront of the mind. So line for line, you can ride this brain train and you can change your station without even touching the dial. So relax, stay a little bit, but listen for a while. And whether you're bumping this in the whip or in a business fit, it's a meeting you won't want to miss. A meeting for a meal to feed the soul with words for the mind. So sit back, enjoy the ride. Time to take off, it's time to fly. Cause Tamara to the break of dawn is on the rise.
So this is about to be a super interesting episode. We're gonna see what's gonna come out. It is it's 1:10 a.m. Last night, well, first of all, this is literally, I can't think of the last time I did an episode like completely sober, no Tam special, no shot. Cause some like episodes that I've recorded, I just remember one recently taking a shot. This is I ain't, I don't think I've recorded a completely sober episode since I started uploading videos. So this is kind of interesting, but I'm kind of digging it though because I'm never one that likes to feel like anything is controlling me. If you're watching this, I got some new glasses and I'm not sure how I feel about them. I like the frames, of course, but I got glareless lenses, but also it has like UV blue light something. I don't even remember what the woman said, and it's kind of, I don't know, it's kind of irritating me as I'm looking at this, but whatever. But as I was saying, this is literally, I can't think of the last time I did a completely sober episode. It's 1:12 in the morning. Last night I slept an hour. Can't sleep now. Shout out to my little brother because I was talking to my little brother, just kind of, Cedric, the one who's been on the Big Rich Town episodes with Baylor. Shout out to Baylor, as well as the movie Tears episodes that we do. But shout out to him. I was just kind of talking to him about just, plans or whatever, just life. And I was telling him how I have not been sleeping the past several days. Like, if I lay down, I don't sleep long and then I wake up. And he was like, well, cuz I got a lot of stuff I'm trying to work on, and I'm trying to just, you'll see it as stuff rolls out, but I'm trying to just get some stuff going. And he just was like, well, why don't you use that time when you can't sleep to create, you know what I'm saying? Because everything I'm trying to do right now is trying to create in some way. So shout out to him. That's where y'all get this late night episode or whatever. So um yeah, so like I said, I haven't been sleeping. We're gonna see what this episode is gonna be like. I'm not gonna talk about everything, um, but I'm gonna talk about whatever I'm gonna talk about. But I'm in this like I'm in a state of transition, and some of y'all may understand what I'm talking about because this is gonna be me using a lot of comparisons and whatever. And some of y'all, I don't know, this is how I am though. There's only usually a few that see this side of me or whatever, but this is the episode y'all gonna get. Otherwise you wasn't gonna get nothing, because as I've always said, if you're new, I can only give you what I got. So I guess I'm Tamra. Yeah, thanks for tuning in. I guess I should have did that at the beginning. New episodes drop every Thursday. If you're new, day ones and all that, I appreciate y'all. So as I've always said, like, I can only give you what I got. So all I can give you is this episode that might not make sense to some, but it's cool because this is just what it is. If you're watching, man, my glasses are irritating me, but these are the glasses y'all gonna get because I think it was kind of messing with my eyes going back and forth with the old pair of glareless glasses because it's an old prescription. I know the UV light is supposed to be helpful with me staring at computer screens and all that, so I'm just like, it is what it is. This is what you're gonna get. I don't know why like if I have my head a certain way, it's cool, but if I have it tilted, it's just weird. Whatever. I'm in a state of transition, and I have not been in this state in a long time. So as y'all can tell by the show, I'm a very deep thinker. I pay attention to patterns of people, patterns in my life. And one of the big comparisons I've always said is that my life, to me, life is for everyone, but definitely in my life as I pay attention is like Super Mario Brothers. So like level 1, you got the Goombas, you got the turtles. Once you figure out how to fight them, you fight Bowser or whatever Bowser-ish monster is at the end of level 1, and then you go on to level 2. You still gonna have the Goombas and the turtles, but you also gonna have the jumping turtles, etc. Fire, keep going each level. You don't necessarily move on from the level. It's more so, or from the obstacles, that's a good word, obstacles, barriers of each level. But what happens is you already know how to beat those barriers, so when you come against a turtle or a Goomba on level 7, man, that's really nothing in comparison to when you were on level 1 and it was brand new. So that's how my life works, okay? And that's how I noticed that. I'm not saying I repeat a lot of the same things, but I notice similar patterns, similar themes. And so I've noticed that whenever I'm in a state of transition where I'm transitioning from one thing to the next, or it's been jobs or it's been moving or it's been whatever, but it's like a big shift, for me and of course my family, because whatever happens to me affects them. But whenever I'm in these, whenever it's prior to when the transition happens. So when I say I'm in a state of transition, it doesn't mean that well, I guess, excuse me, technically transitioning is the process, you know what I'm saying? But it's like prior to change. That's a good way to put it. Prior to the change that's gonna occur, I always sense it, I feel it. Discernment, hearing the Holy Spirit, for me, faith is a big thing. So that's me. You could say intuition, you could say whatever it is, but when it comes to me and minds, you know what I'm saying? The Lord gives me insight into different things, and I can sense transition before it happens. And then I'm in this like state of restlessness, and that's where I'm at right now. So I had to think about why I'm not sleeping, because when I think about the past, what year is this? 2021. So about the past 12, 13-ish plus years, there's always been a lot of, like, if you want to say trials going on, but it's always a bunch of stuff at once. That's just how it is. And if you pay attention to some of my solo, I always talk about how I'm going through a lot, and even like no one except me ever knows everything that I'm going through. There's no one that I literally talk to about everything in my life, cuz I have like, maybe I talk to this person about all of this, or I talk to this person and they get all of that. And some people may get a mix, but there's not one person walking on this earth that can say they know everything that's going on in my life or whatever. I say all that to say I've been trying to figure out why I couldn't sleep. And I knew it wasn't because of the stuff that's going on, because honestly, the negative, and I say quote unquote, the negative stuff that's going on is super lightweight in comparison to other like just stuff we've walked through, you know what I'm saying? And this is why I brought the whole Super Mario Brothers analogy, because it's kind of like when you go through something that's the same monster that you've been through. For me, it doesn't hit you the same. Like, I get irritated, of course, but whatever. But what causes me to like not be able to sleep for real, like days, and me and a really good friend of mine, shout out to Lindsay, she did my intro and outro stuff, so you hear her every week. You just don't know her, of course, but we always call it being in battle. That's someone who I can say that's been my friend for, gosh, 11, 12, I don't know, a long time. And that's someone that I can say understands. Like, if she was to listen to this episode, she will understand it in a way that the rest of y'all wouldn't. But this is still what y'all gonna get, because it's kind of like she's walked with me through a lot of stuff in the last whatever. And so, and we tend to be parallel and stuff. So, like, kind of going through not the exact same circumstance, but we tend to be going through like the same underlying themes at the same time. Not always, but in certain times in life or whatever. And that's why whenever I address stuff, I always speak to the emotion, to the thought processes and stuff like that, because the external circumstances y'all might not ever go through, but you can probably relate to the emotions. Oh, pause. If you're watching and you see the bonnet and you see the twist and you don't follow me on social media to understand that Bonnet Bay is who I was and will be whenever I feel like it. Don't trip off the bonnet. If I cared about it, I wouldn't whatever. But I just thought I'd put that out there, because normally in everything, my hair is done and this, that, and the other. And it's funny because, like I said, I was trying to go to sleep, but since I can't sleep, I'm like, okay, well, let me just go ahead and record this episode. And my bonnet, of course, was on. And I was like, well, maybe I won't do video, but why not? You know what I'm saying? I don't care. Whatever I put on the internet, I don't care about people knowing, because if I cared, I wouldn't put it on there. I've only had a Facebook since 2010, so I'm not some kid who just puts whatever on the internet. So, like, if I put it on the internet, I don't care. But I guess I'll throw that disclaimer out in case you're wondering, why isn't her hair done? Because, sometimes people be questioning stuff or wondering stuff that it really is irrelevant. But I figure I'll answer that question because I know it's somebody out there that's wondering. All right, cool. So she and I are parallel usually in a lot of things. And so and it's funny because I talked to her today, and when I said I couldn't sleep and then she said she couldn't sleep, it made sense, just because of everything else that we're walking through. That's like we've been here before. And a lot of things that I'm doing now, that people see, it's kind of like what I realize. So podcasting, blogging, even designing merch, and then y'all see some other stuff that's going to be, later, whatever. I'm realizing that everything that I've done in my past, well, I'll say, I like to say decade, but technically I know it's been longer than that, but it is what it is. In the past decade has prepared me for such a time as this. So, battle, not sleeping. Okay. And so I'm in this state of change is coming. I feel it. My mind is constantly going, because there's a lot of things that it's kind of like I see the vision, and I'm usually a just dive in and figure it out as it go type person, but this can't be that. So there's like preparation and planning that I have to do, which I'm not going to say it's just not my favorite thing to do. That's why I just dive in and figure it out as I go, because it's not like I don't plan, but I just like to usually, especially when it comes to creative stuff or whatever, just I usually like to figure it out. But I'm learning the beauty in planning. So that's kind of where I'm in the planning stages of, multiple different things, change, and I can't sleep. And it's an interesting thing. And I have people I have people that I could talk to about stuff, but I know that I'm supposed to kind of walk through this alone, and more so talk to the Lord. And some of y'all might not understand that. Understand it's a healthy isolation. You do need to sometimes go through stuff by yourself. Whether or not you do it with the Lord, that's on you. I do, you know what I'm saying? But um I know I'm supposed to walk through it alone, so I don't really talk to people, and I'm going to even less. I'll probably maybe give y'all updates if I can't sleep and this is all. I give you what I got or whatever, you know what I'm saying? But I'm less going to be talking to people about what I'm going through, because it's kind of like when you're in a state of transition, change, whatever, you really got to be careful who you allow to speak into you, because you're in a vulnerable place. Because okay, so let's say you're on this let's say there's two islands, right? There's, I don't know, Awesome Land and uh Tigoria. Don't ask me, I'm just looking at stuff in my room and I just made that up. Okay, so there's Awesome Land and Tigoria. Tigoria is where I'm currently at, so we'll just make that this side, even though really it wasn't, if you could see, but whatever. Tigoria is where I'm at right now. So imagine you're in Tigoria and you're trying to get to Awesome Land. Once you start stepping away from Tigoria, the thing about, you could call it steps of faith, you could call it bold moves, you could call it whatever you want to call it. When you're changing in transition and you're taking that step, your foot is off the ground, and there's a period of time when you step from when your foot lifts off the ground to from Tigoria to when you step to Awesome Land. And in that time, now in real time, if you take a step, it's quick, but when you think about that in change, you don't know how long that process is going to be. Like, I know what I'm trying to make happen. However, one particular thing got put, if for example got pushed back out of my control, doesn't mean I'm not supposed to do that. Some people would take it that way, but not me. That just has not been my life, and I know sometimes it is, but this specifically is not it. It's just timing and whatever, and I'm such an impatient person and I hate waiting, and I be ready. Like, man, it's amazing, this weight loss journey that I've been doing it for a year. Like, that's amazing, because I remember a year ago when I asked my homie to hold me accountable, and I remember him saying, like, me telling him how much, and that was a very vulnerable time, because that is probably the only person on earth who, besides like going to the doctor, like, he asked me, how much do you weigh? And he said I need some information, because he was doing my something for me with like my diet, and I was doing keto back then or whatever. I don't feel like explaining all that, but he asked me my weight and I told him, and then he asked me how much I wanted to lose, and I told him, and he was, and I wanted it to be gone right away. Like, nobody wants to really do the work to undo the damage that they've done, because I haven't always been this size. And I've said that on here before. This has been about when I was 29, when I started gaining weight, when I stopped smoking cigarettes. So I remember him saying something about a year from now, not like, oh, I will have lost all my weight, because I still haven't met my goal, but he was just trying to shift my mind of, don't be in this rush to hurry up and get it done. And I remember being kind of low key irritated, you know what I'm saying? But he don't ever be paying attention to me with that. Um, and the crazy thing is, here we are a year later, and I'm so glad I asked him to hold me accountable and like really set a firm foundation for me to actually continue on this journey. But I'm just amazed that I'm still doing it, because I'm an impatient person. Like, I want instant results. And now it's to the point, a lot of days I don't even feel like working out, but I know I'm very goal focused right now. So everything I do is either because it's working towards my We'll just say creative goals, just to have a category for everything else that I don't mention, but you'll see later. So my creative goals, weight loss goals, spiritual, trying to remain spiritually healthy. So I make sure that I've kind of gotten into in the more, I don't like reading anymore. And I think it's because I have to read a lot of policy logs and narratives all day for work. So I remember when I was in school not enjoying really reading outside of what I had to. So, though, in order to make sure that I'm still filling myself spiritually in the ways that are beneficial to me, I will listen to the daily reading, which is the Bible, usually in the morning on my way to drive my daughter to school. So if I'm not, if whatever it is not benefiting or moving me closer towards my goals, I'm not doing it. So even though I don't feel like working out most of the time anymore, I do it because it's not about how I feel. Praise God, I've moved past being the person who only does things just because I feel, because, whoo, child, man. So, um, when you take that step, though, going back to that, you don't know how long that period of time is from the time you lift your foot from Tigoria to land in Awesome Land, or whatever I called it. You don't know how long that period of time is. So you got to be careful who you allow to speak into you and speak over you and advise you and all that, because we're not even talking about grimy people, because I don't have anybody that I know of in my life that is like blatantly grimy, blatantly a snake, blatantly like not in the people that I actually talk to. I'm sure there are people, that I am around, or I guess maybe not around because I don't really go anywhere, but I'm sure there are people, but I'm talking about the people I talk to. I don't think that there's anyone, and I could be dead wrong, but I don't think there's anyone that is necessarily has ill intentions when they try to advise. But what you got to remember is that people have limited perspective, and their perspective is really based off of maybe knowledge, maybe life experience, but it's their life experience. Maybe they saw somebody, but you really can't fully speak from a place of full understanding on what you observed. You got to walk through it. You know what I'm saying? You got to be careful who you allow to speak into you, because in that time when your foot is lifted in the air, moving towards landing in the other island, it could be easy to get off track, you know what I'm saying, or get distracted, or get even led astray, not on purpose, just because that person, like, let's say, so for me, let's say you like, I feel like the Lord is leading me to do something, because I mean, I don't I'm not gonna say every little thing I do is like, oh my gosh, God told me to wear that shirt. It's not like that. But major decisions in my life, I do pray. I do, I went to dinner with my mentor earlier today. Shout out to her. Bang, bang. Hey, y'all. Okay. What I want y'all to do real quick is tweet at me your favorite wine when you listen to this episode. I went to dinner with my mentor. This one of my favorite restaurant, and Bang Bang Shrimp. Just, I love it. And I had some lobster something nochi, however you say it. Never had it before, but it was so amazing. And a glass of wine. I'm not a wine drinker. Like, y'all see what I be drinking. And when I'm not drinking the Tam Special, I don't even really do mixed drinks all like that. I'm really a shots or of something, like mainly rum, because y'all know, I think I said on here before, Crown Apple is really my favorite, but I think I'm allergic to whiskey, so I can't drink that. But I'm not really a wine drinker. But y'all had some wine, and I just felt so grown and luxurious and whatnot. Like, so yeah, tweet at me y'all favorite wines when you hear this, just because now I want to just be grown and luxurious, not every day, because I'm just not a drinker like that. But I don't know, it was just a different experience that I know a lot of y'all drink wine. I be seeing y'all talking about it. But now what I'm asking is, can you tweet at me your favorite wines, and I might try it. Not saying I'm gonna be drink. Who knows though? I might, have a little sippy sip on the episode. I don't know. Not today, but whatever. Okay, cool. So then I guess I lied if I said I'm completely sober, because well, I mean, that was hours ago that we went to dinner. So, and I literally had one glass of wine. And the waitress and the waiter were because I told them, like, she ordered a glass of wine, and I was like, ooh, I'd be wanting to try wine, but I don't really know what to drink. And so we had this whole conversation about that, and they brought me out three different kinds, Moscato, something else, and a Stella Rose, and they let like three little let me taste it and choose which one I wanted for the glass. So I felt like real fancy or whatever, like it was a wine tasting, and I went with the Stella Rose, so at least I know a wine that I like. But if you have one that you want to recommend or is your favorite, let me know. Okay, let's move away from wine. But now I lost my complete train of thought. So we will just, let me see if I could get it back. Oh, let me see if I could get it back. Oh, let me see if I could get it back. No. Okay. So I will just go here. You can't have any and everybody advise you because, this is what I was talking about. I'm a person who, when I try to make major decisions, I seek prayer, I'll have a few trusted people and when I say few, that's probably a hella exaggeration because it's not always. Usually I just say, hey, this is what I'm thinking, just pray. I don't even say, like, what do you think? I'm more so like, just pray about it, because it always works out where God gives me the wisdom and the insight that I need, or doors are closed, or doors are open, or he gonna bust it open, but not like that, like busting the doors open. You feel me? Okay. So, um, you got to be careful though who you have advised you. It's funny because I'm sober doing all, but I'm tired. It's like I'm tired, but I can't go to sleep. I don't even know how the hell I'm up. Honestly, I went through the whole day. It's not like I really did anything because I didn't work, because I was gonna just go to sleep. Couldn't go to sleep, so I watched Snowfall all day, which is my new show, and I really appreciate watching crack, cocaine, etc. aside. I really appreciate watching him build an empire, build his business, and just seeing that develop. You know what I'm saying? But you gotta really let me hurry up and get y'all out of here, because like I said, I didn't know what this episode was gonna be. I was just trying to get y'all episode, because if y'all wasn't gonna get this, y'all wasn't really gonna get nothing, because there's nothing else that I can talk about as of today. So you cannot let any and everybody speak to you. And so I was talking about that know that I'm supposed to walk through this alone, kind of like there's not really many people, if anyone, that's really going to understand my thought processes, like how I feel really in response to things that are happening. And sometimes it got to be like that. You know what I'm saying? And it's not always like that. And then it's not always that people are going to be surrounding you when you're making decisions. So it's kind of like there's never a cookie cutter approach to life. But I know that when you have to go through things by yourself, you gotta by myself is not by myself for me, because as I've said, I depend on the Lord and pray a lot, or just talk to him, you know what I'm saying? Be like, hey, what the hell is going on? Like, or sometimes he'll want me to talk to him, and sometimes I'll be like, I'm tired of talking. This is literally a conversation that I was having with the Lord earlier, and you may or may not believe the Lord speaks to you. I'm not here to convince you. I'm just telling you about my life. Okay. So I know that this is stuff that I gotta walk through alone, and it's an interesting thing because I feel like I've been in a alone season when I really think about it for a long time, and I don't say that like there aren't people that I could talk to. There's not people that I laugh, joke, talk to about stuff, but it's like y'all, there's just a lot. It's just a lot, and it's kind of like I would have to give you so much backstory for you to really understand how significant certain things are that are happening now. And you just, I remember one time somebody told me nobody is going to be able to celebrate your breakthrough or whatever you want to call it like you, because no one else walked through it. So it's like I could sit here and do this whole episode of explaining to y'all what's been going on the past decade and how certain things right now are significant, but for what? You know what I'm saying? You didn't walk through it with me, and I will forget stuff because clearly I can barely stay on track in an episode sometimes. I ain't got no kind of notes, nothing. I ain't got none of that. I just plugged my stuff in and sat down or whatever. So that's kind of where I'm at. I'm just up. I can't sleep. It's a weird it's such a weird time because it's like I feel my mind feels the clearest that it's ever felt. Also, um yeah, so my mind feels the clearest that it's ever, like I feel the most clear-headed, or I don't want to say sober-minded, but I guess that's the only word I could think of. I don't know, it's this interesting space that I'm in, mentally, emotionally. I'm the freest I've ever felt. It's such a interesting time right now. Like even the things, and I man, it's so funny because like last week I was just really praying about I just I don't like to feel anxious. I don't like to feel whatever. And I know there's medication and all these things that people take at times for anxiety, but for me this isn't something that like, oh, I've struggled with all my life in a way that it's that you can feel anxious without being crippled by anxiety, you know what I'm saying? So I was just really kind of praying about just that and just all these other things. And it's interesting because right now as things are happening, I'm experiencing them, and I don't know if it's that I've been elevated, because when you get like back to Mario Brothers, when you get to the next, not the next level, but once you're elevated or whatever, things that bothered you or were super challenging in level 1 of Mario are not going to be the same in level 2. So I don't know what has happened to where I just like things annoy me, but I don't feel it in my body like I was. So it's a very interesting time. I feel the freest emotionally that I felt. I feel the most clear headed that I'm felt, the most focused that I felt create in a long time creatively. Like, so I also serve on the creative team at my church, and basically what I do is take it doesn't even matter. I do some stuff for my church for the creative team. And it's like last week when sat down to do it, and the weeks prior to that, it took me forever to complete it, and it would be this whole, I don't know, process and just all this stuff. Man, when I sat down on Sunday to do it, it's like I don't know. So I don't know really what's happening. Um the bad is just not, it's weird. It's like I've been down so long it look like up to me. They look up to me. I don't even know why, just I don't know. But I guess that does make sense. Maybe not how that sounded. But I guess that does make sense because as I said, the past over a decade, we'll just say it like that, has been trial after trial after trial after multiple trials. It's always something, and it's always been every area of my life attacked at the same time. Like, that's just what it's been. I got another homie who one time told me, he said, you were, I forget how, I think he said you were born to do hard things, created to do hard things. Just the things that he's seen me walk through, that I don't know. I don't know why. And my life is like, I like to call it some, I have this folder of like things that only happen to me, that just, and I'm sure they maybe happen to somebody else in the world. But well, the emotions, not necessarily the circumstances. You know what I'm saying? I don't ever say everybody goes through the same thing. I say we all feel the same types of emotions. You know what I'm saying? Because most emotions transcend circumstances, and you know, underlying issues, and stuff like that. But it's weird because it's I mean, there's stuff going on, but it's just, it's, I don't know, it's not that deep. It's annoying, yeah, but it's not like crisis. That's what it's like. I'm no longer in crisis as I had been for the past over a decade. So it's kind of weird, because sometimes when you go through crisis for so long, or when you think about people who have struggled for so long or whatever, it's like when you no longer have that, it's kind of scary, because you got to relearn how to function outside of crisis. Or like for the people who, they have so many toxic relationships. I saw a meme about this the other day, where it was like, your first relationship, your hardest relationship is the first healthy relationship after all the toxic relationships, because you basically have to deprogram and unlearn all that toxic stuff, which is why I'm not a fan of just jumping from relationship to relationship. Like, part of why I've been single so long is because when me and my ex divorced, I was like, okay, how did I get here? I don't want to come here again. What do I need to work on within myself to like not have this happen again? And it just started this journey. Like, I did therapy, then I started school, and then in school, because my degree is in psychology, a lot of my classes was like therapy, because I had to do the work, myself, and search deep within and all this stuff. It's an interesting time right now, though. It's an interesting time. It's a time to be alive. It really is a time to be alive. But it's an exciting time, because um there will be stuff that y'all will, because I'll talk about it here once it's public or whatever. But it's an exciting time to be alive. I'm only mentioning it because this show is about my life, you know what I'm saying? Otherwise, it's not like I'm tweeting about this, or I'm not really, I told y'all episodes ago, whenever that was, that I'm gonna give y'all more because y'all actually care or want to hear about my life, or you want to be nosy. Whatever brought you here, all you're ever gonna hear about is my life or something I'm passionate about on this show. You know what I'm saying? But it's an interesting time to be alive right now. It's an interesting time in parenting. But it's not crisis, and that's different. You know what I'm saying? I gotta deprogram myself from the past over a decade of like, what is life like when it's not, when it's still stuff, because there's still stuff that's going on. None of us are free of problems, you know what I'm saying? But it just looks different. It's like more so irritations than crisis. Like, it's not, it's like, yeah, there's financial struggles, but it's not, oh dang, I just really don't know how I'm gonna pay these bills, because I done been there. Um yeah, so that's where I'm at. it'll be interesting to see what I end up naming this episode because here we are. If you're watching, I don't know, these glasses, see, like when I move, so what do I need to be lower? Nope, I don't know. And then I don't even know why I lowered down, but I'm just gonna stay down here for the rest of the episode. But I'm actually about to get up out of here. So there's still, depending on when you listen to this, because through the 28th, so the end of Black History Month, there's still the free shipping promo. So get y'all some merch. Head to my website. And there's 2 merch tabs on there. The free shipping promo code is TAMTAM12. You can use it through February 28th. So if you hear this after February 28th, unfortunately, the code will be, disabled at that point. Follow me on social media. Check out my blog too. If you ever wanted to get a deeper dive into just a topic, and when I say that, it's like I will take something so complex and just focus on one part of it, but kind of like deeply dive into that one thought. That's just literally how my mind works. I don't really do all that on here because I can do that more concisely by writing. Y'all see on here, I lose my train of thought and just all these things. And that's okay because it just is what it is. Obviously, y'all don't care, but check out my blog. But my website, I'm going to start putting that if you're watching at the bottom just because that's where everything is. It's easier. So tamrathedon.com is where you can see the links to follow me on Twitter and Instagram. I follow back unless you don't have English, ain't tweeted or whatever. And if you're a kid, I've noticed some like young people that I don't, even if you're a kid content creator, I just on Twitter, I don't know, man. I don't really want to be following kids I don't know. Like on my Facebook, when I did youth ministry and stuff, I will have youth, but it was youth I knew that I have relationship with. But Twitter ain't Facebook, you know what I'm saying? Let's see what else. Weekly podcast shout out. I will just add something at the beginning. Oh, no. We ain't even doing that because we doing the Black History Month. I knew I wasn't tripping. Business Spotlight, which you would have already heard. That ad. So check out them. Their information is in the episode notes. Let's see what else. Make sure you're taking care of yourself mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically to be healthy. Like I literally share my life because if there's one thing that we can grow together in, because I'm out here just trying to grow. You should see I'm not trying to say that I got it together because I don't, you know what I'm saying? But I share so that if there's somebody who feels like they're the only one going through something, that they don't get caught up in that lie. So make sure you're taking care of yourself because I mean, it's hard because we're at this point where I know we've been tired of the pandemic, but now we're like, for real, this has been a year that we've just been in this pandemic and it's hard. I couldn't imagine, when they compare this to the Spanish flu, I couldn't imagine having gone through this without social media. And that's why God knew what it was. And I didn't live back then through that. And I'm living through it in 2021 because I couldn't imagine going through this without the technology. Like I'm able to work from home. I'm able to still create content. I'm able to make friendships, associates, network, whatever, because of technology and the internet. And I couldn't imagine going through this. I'm able to do FaceTimes and other video chatting or whatever to like see people, you know what I'm saying? I just couldn't imagine not having all of that, going through all this. But that's why it's like, take care of yourself, be kind, give yourself grace. Don't be so hard on yourself. Like, we ain't never went through a pandemic before, or even pandemic aside, you've never lived through this exact moment right now that you're listening to this. You've never lived through this because it's a new moment and everything is a new moment. And I saw this thing that was very interesting, and then I'm gonna go ahead and get up out of here. And it was saying that there's no such thing as the future. This is me paraphrasing because y'all know my memory don't be like that. But there's no such thing as a future. There's only a perpetual now. And I'm going to just leave you with that. You do with that as you want. You know what I'm saying? If you don't receive it, you don't receive it. And that's cool. But I thought that was super interesting. So take care of yourselves. Be kind to people. Give yourself grace. I'm going to go ahead and get up out of here. I will see y'all. Okay, I won't see y'all, but you're going to see me. Whatever. Bye.
Ladies and gents, this concludes transmission. Tune in next time for a whole new edition. Another adventure and mission to share, be heard, and clarify the vision of this whole new world for...